Good day, everyone. On behalf of the first group, this is Ms. Mariel Angelo A. Abendante, greeting all of you a pleasant morning. Together with Mr. Orlando Anghag and Ms. Atela Glais Bayud, we are here to discuss the first topic or the topic that was assigned to us, which is lead workforce communication. So this topic will be divided into three parts, namely, communicate information about workplace processes, lead workplace discussions, and identify and communicate issues arising in the workplace. So the first topic, which is communicate information about workplace processes, is also divided into four. And these are organization requirements for written and electronic communication methods. So in this part, we will know the difference between written and electronic communication methods. Second, what are those effective verbal communication methods? Third, business writing. And lastly, workplace etiquette. But before we proceed on discussing these topics, let's have first the definition of communication. Communication is the transfer of information meaningful to those involved. It is also the process in which messages are generated and sent by one person and received and translated by another person. So again, communication is a two-way process. Okay? It is a two-way process because a feedback is needed to be provided by the receiver, okay, or the recipient of the message. That is to ensure that there is a understanding that is happening between the two. It is also said to be the process of exchanging ideas, feelings, messages, okay, between two or more persons for mutual understanding. That is the importance and the definition of communication. So under communication, we have two major forms. We have the verbal and the non-verbal communication. But what is the main difference of these two? Let's have first the verbal. Verbal communication uses words to convey a message. Okay? One of the examples of this verbal communication is writing a letter. Okay? Next, we have the non-verbal communication. So from the term itself, non-verbal, meaning it doesn't use words in conveying message. It only uses body language such as facial expressions, gestures, okay? We also have the movements of our body, okay? That is non-verbal communication, okay? So for this day, we will focus more on the verbal. Verbal has two different types. These are oral communication or communication that uses our spoken language. Okay? It is the type of communication wherein it involves our speaking skills. And the second part is, or the second type of verbal communication is the what we call written communication. This is the type of communication that uses pen and paper, or it refers to any written message, okay, that is exchanged between two or more persons or people. Okay, and that will be the focus of this morning's topic or discussion, that is written communication. Okay, so written communication, again, is any written message that is exchanged by one person to another. Okay, so we have three characteristics of a well-written communication. First is clear, second is concise, and third is well-constructed. But what are the differences among these three characteristics of a well-written communication? Let's have the first one. Written communication should be clear. Okay? In short, it should not bring us confusion. It should not cause confusion on the part of the reader. You should be direct to the point. You should be straight to your message without using any figurative languages. Okay? Second, being concise. When we say concise, You are conveying your message by using few words. Okay, again, being concise is the ability to deliver your message without being verbose or without using too many words. Okay, and third, we have well-constructed. Well-constructed pertains to the arrangement of the thoughts on your paper or on your message. Your introduction should be stated first. Then your body should be followed right after the introduction. And the conclusion should be placed on the last part of your message, especially if it is a speech or any type of written communication. Or simply, it should be well constructed. The thoughts, the ideas should be conveyed according to its importance, or to you should put more emphasis on what you want to emphasize. Okay, next. Okay, so aside from written, okay, which is any written message with the use of pen and paper, we also have the what we call electronic communication. Okay, electronic communication is any broadcasted, transmitted, viewed, or stored using electronic media. Again, electronic communication is any type of messages that is broadcasted, transmitted, stored, or viewed using electronic media. So when we say electronic communication, we have now the integration of technology in communicating. Especially nowadays that we are still under the pandemic, or we still have this pandemic, we are using electronic communication in most of our transactions. Okay? So what are these different types of electronic communication? We have so many types of electronic communication, but we have here just some of those commonly used electronic communication. We have email or electronic mail, instant messages, websites and blogs, SMS or text messaging, video call, and voice call. Okay, so let's try to differentiate these different types of electronic communication. First one is email or electronic mail. This is almost the same with writing a letter, but the only difference is that we are delivering our mail through technology, through electronic media. Okay, that is why it is called electronic mail. We have Yahoo, we have the Gmail, okay, or Google Mail. Those are just some of those famous examples of email or of email delivery or mode of sending these emails. Next, we also have instant messages. This pertains to those instantaneous sending of message. Okay, again, when we talk about instant messages, okay, it pertains to the real-time or instantaneous transmission of messages via email or internal network or server. For example, we have the very used electronic or very used instant messages application. We have Facebook Messenger. Okay, that is an example of electronic communication, particularly this instant messages. Okay, aside from being an example for instant messages, we can also use Facebook Messenger as an example for video call. Okay, next, we have the websites. Okay, websites, these pertains to this type of applications, okay, or places in the internet that we can search on via okay. Next, we have the websites and blogs. So when we talk about website, it is a collection of web pages and related content that is identified by a common domain name and published on at least one web server. Example for this is notable websites such as Google, Facebook, Amazon's, and Wikipedia. Okay, that is website. Next, when we talk about blog, it pertains to the discussion of informational website published on the World Wide Web. Okay, there again, blog is a discussion or informational website published on the World Wide Web. Okay, so as I said earlier, the video call, one of the examples for video call electronic communication is the Facebook Messenger. Next, we have the SMS or text messaging. We are really familiar with this one, SMS. Okay, or short message service or short message services. Okay. So we use this, especially before that during the time when we don't have this messenger yet, okay? Because SMS is as simple as text or text messaging or texting. Okay, that is also an example of electronic communication. And lastly, we have the voice call. So those are just some of those different types of electronic communication that we are using in our everyday transactions, particularly if we are referring to an organization. Okay, again, just a recap. We have email or electronic mail. Example for this is our Google Mail or Gmail. Next, we have instant messages. Example for this one is our Facebook Messenger. Okay. Next, we have websites. Okay, example for website is the Google website, and we also have blogs. Okay, next, we have SMS, short message service or text messaging. Okay, video call and voice call. So again, those are the different types of electronic communication. Electronic communication, once again, is the type of communication that is broadcasted, transmitted, stored, and viewed using electronic media, or the type of communication which has the integration of technology. Okay? So the next part of our topic, which is about effective verbal communication methods, will be discussed by my group mate. Thank you.